Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of Snake Cinema Podcast. I am your host, Prince Elias, and we have a very special guest, a repeated guest, and who's always come through clutch. It is Cairo, captured by Cairo,
Hello,
also
hello.
the creative behind our Christmas backdrop, our original logo, and the Halloween backdrop. Yes, let's see. Ayo Maki, aloha, welcome to the show.
Hi, Maki.
It's about to be a great episode. Super excited about this episode. People are coming in. What's up, Nicole? Actually, you're on time. I messed up my time zones. I'm thinking that Atlanta time is still Memphis time.
Oh, you're in
But
Atlanta?
no, I'm in Atlanta right now. Yeah, we're visiting family for Christmas. So I'm here at the Airbnb. So no, nobody's late. We're all good, Nicole. We're all good. Let's see. Let's get the pleasantries out the way. This episode and every episode is brought to you by Mutation Station and Lucy Land Ball Pythons, the best feeders, the best rodents, the best dubia roaches, and also great produce reptiles and soon to be spiders in the Memphis and Mid South area. Argue with your mama. Thank you, Mutation Station, and thank you, Lucy Land, for always sponsoring and supporting your boy. Let's see, life and animal updates, life updates. I am on vacation, thank God. Um, Not teaching for at least 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. So it feels good to be on this break, much needed break. And right now, I'm currently in Atlanta visiting family for Christmas. Hopefully, I get a chance to catch up with Keys. We'll see. It all depends on both our times because this is holiday season. And I know Keys live a little ways outside the city. So, but it feels great to be in a different area. I'm not sitting outside of a coffee shop because of my shitty Wi Fi. The Wi Fi here is somewhat decent. So, so far, so good. Cairo, any life updates with you? Oh, we lost Cairo. Must be their internet service. Don't worry, they'll be back on. They'll be back on. Let's see. Exactly, Maki. Argue with your mammy. Yeah, let's see. While we wait for Cairo to get back, let's do a quick congratulations to Maki. Okay, Cairo's back. Cool. Okay,
That's my
so
bad.
it's fine, it's fine. But let's do a quick congratulations to Maki. As of last Monday, Maki has been gifted by Nicole a retic, a baby retic. And
Yeah.
Nicole actually showed their retic off on um, Hair Down Fridays last night. And so that was pretty dope. So congratulations, Maki, for getting that retic for Christmas. And also congratulations to Stan from Sea of Serpents. He's been the only person who's been able to dethrone me from Lady Tiz's giveaways and contests. Every time she gave away something or did a contest, I seem to be the person who won. I won the 10 league trip. I won a gift card, I believe, the episode with Maki and Lindsay. Um, it's just every time she does a giveaway, I end up winning something. So I concede my winning streak with to Stan from Sea of Serpents. And rightfully so. He deserved that snake, that black-haired snake. So congrats to Stan. Yeah, they did say it was rigged, but it wasn't legit. I just had a stroke of luck. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm coming back strong. I'm coming back strong. All right. So before this episode, for those who are coming in, this episode is last week's episode was the best movies and TV shows of 2023. This episode is the best music of 2023. Now, I have different categories. I'm doing the best music that came out in 2023, but Cairo and I are going to also talk about our Spotify Wrapped. That Spotify every year they tell you, hey, this is what you listen to the most all year long. And so we're going to talk about that. And the reason why I broke those up into categories, because if I just focused on Spotify Wrapped, then none of the artists who released music this year would get any shout outs, because I barely listened to music that came out this year. I did listen to music that came out this year because I do this review show, and I did enjoy some music that came out this year. However, the music that came out this year, even the best of the best, it either came out late this year to where I haven't had time to listen to it more than once or more than 3 or 4 times, or if it came out in January-ish, it probably didn't keep my attention the whole year long. As good as it was, I went back to listening to the music I've been listening to for the past 3 or 4 years. So that's why I broke it down that way. I can shout out and give y'all music that actually came out this year. Some of the music that came out this year, as well as talk about the Spotify Wrapped. But before we do that, I have a little mini rant. And Cairo, if you feel like chiming in, you can. Because I don't know if you saw this, but let me pull my phone out. And this mini rant is brought to you by Lady Tears by Nicole, because she tagged me in an article on Facebook. And I just had to get something off my chest. As big as this chest is, I had to get some off, because and Nicole knew what she was doing when she tagged me. Okay, so Rolling Stone. This rant is for you. Rolling Stone, you've been on some bullshit for a while, and I'll talk about that in a second. This ain't the first time you disrespected music as a whole to be a music publication. Rolling Stone named Sexyy Red's Ski Yee as the best rap song of 2023.
I beg your pardon?
I repeat. Rolling Stone, the Rolling Stone magazine, the pinnacle of music publication, named Sexyy Red's Ski Yee as the best rap song of 2023. So fuck Drake, fuck Kaytranada, Amine, fuck Kendrick Lamar, fuck anybody who released music this year. Hell, they even disrespected Nicki Minaj, and her album wasn't her best work. You said that Ski Yee is the best rap song of 2023. Whoo. Now, Rolling Stone has lost all my respect a couple of years ago. No, it was last year. It was last year. They released the best songs. No, the best 50 best vocalists of all time. Vocalists, not songwriters, not artists, vocalists. That was the key word, vocals. 50 best vocals. They disrespected Celine Dion. I don't think Celine Dion was on that list because I went through it twice. They disrespected Whitney Houston. I think Whitney Houston was like number 2 or 3 after Johnny Cash or some shit. Like they gave it may not have been Johnny Cash. They gave the number 1 spot to some white dude. Vocalists. We're talking about vocals. They disrespected Al Green. They disrespected Marvin Gaye. They like those people are like in the 40s, in the 30s. They disrespected Mariah Carey. I said, what the fuck, Rolling Stone? Vocalists? I'm not saying. Now, we can argue who's the best artist of all time. We can argue who's the best performer all time because it fluctuates. It goes up and down. But if we're just talking vocal ability, your voice, your instruments, your throat, pause. Ain't no way Johnny Cash is beating any of those motherfuckers. Ain't no way. Ain't no way Elvis should be at the top. Ain't no way. A lot of these, it was just mind-blowing. So I wasn't surprised when I saw that they put Sexyy Red as the best rap song, but at the same time, enough is enough, y'all. Rolling Stone has lost their credibility years ago, a long time ago. We should not listen to any publication. I don't care how long they've been in the game. Whoever's the publicists, whoever's the writers, whoever the people they hire in Rolling Stone is smoking crack. If you didn't even place Celine Dion on any best vocalist list, if you put if Whitney Houston is anywhere below number one, I'm sorry. And I can make the argument with certain R&B singers like Marvin Gaye or Al Green. I don't care. If you put Whitney Houston below number one as vocalist, you are smoking crack. And I didn't mean that to be a Whitney Houston joke, but
don't do crack because crack is wet.
Exactly. So shout out to Lady Tiff for tagging me. I just had to get that little mini rant off because I feel like that was just, don't do hip hop like that. Because hip hop, even though I don't listen to it a lot, there has been a lot of good content and good songs that have reached, they can't say it's based off the top 100 charts, because even Ski Yeet did not stay on the top 100 charts long. It had a good month run and then you didn't hear about it no more. So I'm trying to see how the fuck this Ski Yeet made the best rap song. But go ahead and say what you gotta say, Kyra. If you got anything to say, add to
that. All I got to say is that's dumb. That's stupid. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense.
Exactly.
That don't make no sense.
Exactly.
Of all the songs that released, Kendrick released what you call it? Mr. Morale and the Big
Stick. Yeah.
And you said that have none of you heard and Ski Yeet? I don't even listen to Drake, but he literally dropped For All the Dogs and everybody was all over that. But
first of all, Drake dropped 2 albums. He dropped earlier this year. He dropped the album with 21 Savage.
He did do that.
That was like earlier this year, like in the springtime. And then he did All Dogs. So you mean to tell me Ski Yeet topped both of those?
And the thing is, the album with 21 Savage, I kind of like that one. That one kind of
exactly, yeah.
But
that was actually a good album.
And I think, what was that song? Rich Flex. How was Rich Flex not on there? Because that was all over the internet.
Exactly. There was a lot of rap songs that, even if you go by, this was a hit on TikTok. This was a hit on this. This was a Ski Yeet still didn't last that long. It was a fly in the pan. You heard it and then it was done. She got her fame. She got her 15 minutes and then it was done. Like nobody even said Ski Yeet no more. Bending over for Diddy smoking crack. Man, it's just it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Just crazy. So yeah, fuck you, Rolling Stone. Y'all been on some bullshit for a minute, and this just solidified. I don't. Rolling Stone has no credibility to me anymore. Maybe back in the day when I was growing up in high school, yeah, they had some credibility. They ain't got no credibility no more. They lost all their credibility. Just some big fat bullshit. Okay, now let's get to talk about the shit we love. The shit that made us happy, the shit we enjoyed. Let's get to, where's my banner? We gonna do this first. Well, let's do this. Do you want to do the best music first or the best podcast first?
Ooh, let's do podcast.
Okay, yeah, let's knock that out the way. Let's not podcast out the way, because music, you and me might go on a tangent with the music part. So yeah. for me, the best podcast, and I'm gonna break it down to non-reptiles, like the regular podcast that I listen to on Spotify and things like that, or sometimes YouTube. And then I would do the best reptile podcast that I listen to. And if you want to chime in, because I don't know what all you listen to, and add what your favorite ones, we could do that. Let's see. So best podcast of 2023. Now I'm gonna go ahead and run through the non-reptile podcast because it's so simple, and Spotify Rap helped me with that. Help me remember that shit, because some of the podcasts I might have listened to it like every week for like early in the year, then by summertime I stopped listening to it, and then I forget. So let me get that list out. Should have had this up. Okay, there we go. So best non-reptile podcast. Now this is going from least to best, like the ones I listen to like on a daily. So we will start with My Favorite Murder. If you don't know what My Favorite Murder is, it's a true crime podcast that these two ladies, they just recap and tell stories that are like true crime or something that's in the news, but they're also comedians, so they're able to like adds a little bit of funny flair to it, but at the same time, they always honor the victims. They never sensationalize the murders, the killers. They always honor the victims, and if it's like a current crime, it's not like something that happened back in the 70s. Sometimes they'll have relatives, like parents or siblings of said victims, to come out and talk and share the story, and get the word out there. Like if it's a true crime, like a murder that happened that's unsolved, they will bring the victims' families to come tell the story and try to get the word out there. Like, hey, the police is on some bullshit. They turned it into a cold case. They stopped looking for this person, this loved one that's missing. So I love them because they know how to perfectly toe the line between entertainment and on and like like being informative. They don't sensationalize it like some of these Netflix docs do. And so I really enjoy My Favorite Murder podcast, and they're on all streaming services. Those ladies are so dope. When it comes to politics slash pop culture, I love Higher Learning with Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay. When it comes to the ratchet man bullshit, because sometimes I do listen to that, I need to know what men are talking about. I
True.
I hate to say it, but I like to I enjoy, out of all the manosphere and crazy men on the internet who spew stupid shit, I enjoy Joe Budden podcast more than anybody. Some of those other guys are so insufferable that I can't listen to 5 minutes of it. But for some reason, Joe Budden with his dumb ass keeps me entertained, even through the bullshit when I'm like, this nigga don't know what he talking about. But I, I like to, especially when he get into beefs, like when he's shitting on Drake and other rappers. For some reason, I just like that ratchet shit. So I have to give him a nod. There's also a podcast with black women who talk mostly about pop culture or, black women shit. And that is See the Thing Is. I like that podcast. I like watching their videos more than listening on Spotify. So I watch the video versions on YouTube. And then there's Dark History with Sarah Bailey, Bailey Sarian. I done got her name mixed up.
I
Bailey
love her.
Sarian.
I love
I
her.
love her. And I love her Dark History podcast. I like both her podcasts, her true crime, her makeup and murder Monday podcast. But
That's the
the
one I usually watch.
yeah, I usually watch that too. But I really fall in love with the Dark History because she goes into details, and it's funny, it's hilarious, but she go into details of different things, like how chocolate was made, or how the toy factories became a thing, how toys became a thing from the back in the day to now, and stuff like that. And she also, and like the last two episodes she did was part one and part two of the history of Josephine Baker. Wonderful. I loved it. Josephine, it's the last two episodes that she has released. The Dark History of Josephine Baker. Part one and part two are wonderful. So I have to give a shout out to Bailey Sarian and Dark History. I love tattoos. I love tattooing. I love tattoo culture. And so there's these two guys who own a tattoo shop. They do a podcast where they interview other tattoo artists called the Unemployable Podcast, and it's on YouTube. Very entertaining. Those guys are dope. And I love hearing stories of different tattoo artists and how they became to be from their apprenticeship to now. They went from getting paid $50 a tattoo to now you pretty much got to pay them a car note or more, or a house note, like $2,000 plus for a half a sleeve, but their work is so good. And like hearing the funny stories of crazy shit that happens in the tattoo shops, I love that. So Unemployable Podcast. If you like tattoos or tattoo culture, definitely check them out. Now, when it comes to gay stuff, gay pop culture, gay news and things like that, there's these three black gay men on YouTube. It's called the Minority Tea Minority Report. their stuff is pretty good. I just discovered them like 3 months ago, but they've kept me so captivated and entertained that I went back and listened to previous episodes from like earlier this year. So I do like them. Shout out to them. And then the number 2 non-reptile podcast that I've listened to this year, Double Toasted, is Corey and Martin. There are 2 Black men from Austin, Texas. They've been in the game for years, like over 10, 15 years as movie critics, reviewing movies and TV shows and stuff. And they live stream on Twitch first, and then they'll upload it to YouTube. And so I watch it through the YouTube stuff because I can never catch them live on Twitch. But I've been a fan of them for the past 5-6 years. I've watched every single episode. And if I can't watch it on YouTube, I'll go to Spotify and listen to the audio version because they re-upload it on other streaming platforms. So Double Toasted, movie reviews are my favorite. And then the number 1 spot, the champions, the king and queen, the Read podcast with Kid Fury and Crystal. Talk about pro-Black, pro-gay, but very entertaining comedy, pop culture. They talk about everything and everybody, from the politics to the music artists to the critics to everything. The Read podcast, and they're on all platforms. They are amazing. So that's my list for best non-reptile podcast. Cairo, do you have any you want to shout out?
So most of the stuff I listen to is very much so like history and like pop culture. So I'm very like everywhere. I don't think I watched a specific one. Right now I'm listening to on Spotify a cinematic Christmas journey, and they're talking about all like the Christmas movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Right now they're gonna talk about Die Hard. Die Hard's not a
Wow.
Christmas. Die Hard's not a Christmas.
That's been a long-standing debate whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or
Just
not.
because a movie happens during Christmas does not mean it's a Christmas movie.
It's the Christmas movie for the bros, for the dudes that want
For
to
the
like go shoot
bros.
stuff
And then I listen to I'm more of like an audiobook person than a podcast person.
Mhm.
Right, I got the book To Die for the People by Huey P. Newton, and I've been listening to it as I read it. Pretty good. I got it for Christmas. I love me a good like Black Panther party story, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. I've been wanting to get into audiobooks because I love reading. Like I really love reading, but I just haven't had the time with work,
it
with
took me
business, with school to actually sit and read. Like my teacher, my grad school teacher made us read The Hatchet, that classic children's book for class. And even I had to go on YouTube and listen to the audio version because I just ain't got time. And that's a short kids book. So I'm gonna start 2024. I want to get into more listening to audiobooks because I love reading. Like I bought Jada Pinkett Smith autobiography, and it's actually good. Like it's captivating. Like I really love it. I just ain't got the time to sit and read. So like I did read a couple of things on the way here on our road trip to Atlanta. So I did read like a few pages, but it's like I just don't, my attention span, the time, my schedule. So I'm gonna end up having to get that book on audio and just listen to it. But yeah, that's the goal. More books in my life. What up, Keys? Thank you for tapping in. And Keys, I'm glad you're in here because we were just sharing our favorite podcast. Well, we just did the non-reptile podcast. Now we're gonna jump into the best reptile podcast. Now, I know there are not that many people on the live this morning, but people will definitely be hitting the playback. Let me just say this right now. My criteria for reptile podcast are people that I listen to the most. I'm not saying you're the best or the worst. If you're at the bottom of the list, I'm not saying your shit is trash. If you made my honorable mention, I'm not saying your shit is trash. It's no diss. This is all love. This is all shout outs. The only people who should be butthurt are the people that I never acknowledge. and they know who they are. And some of y'all know who they are. So I'm never going to acknowledge those clowns. I'm never going to shout them out. So we ain't got to worry about it. Everybody I mentioned on this list today, whether you're the honorable mention or in the top 10, it's all love. And I appreciate and love your content. But the reason why certain people are honorable mentions and not in the top 10 is strictly because either you did not have like one just started. One podcast literally just started. They only got like 3 episodes in. So I'm not going to put you above the people that I've been listening to since last year. You get what I'm saying? And then certain people got out of the hobby and no longer podcasting. So, but I still want to mention them because they did release episodes this year before they stopped. So I just want to mention and honor them because I love them. And so, yeah. So again, this list of best reptile podcasts is strictly just to show love and to shout everybody out. It's just certain people I listen to way more than others. And also, some of y'all got more than one show. Some of y'all got about 3, 4, 5 shows, or maybe just 2 shows a week. I can't name or I can't rank. If I'm ranking you my top 10, I can't let one person who got 3 shows take up 3 slots. So I only picked one of your multiple shows, if that makes sense. For those who are listening or going to watch the replay. So if you got more than one show, I'm only going to mention the ones that I listened to or enjoyed the most out of those multiple shows. What up, Rock? Thank you for tapping in.
Hi, Rock.
So let's go ahead and do the honorable mentions first. And again, if you're an honorable mention, it's either because you're no longer podcasting or you're brand new and haven't had enough episodes to be at the top 10, or I just haven't watched every episode since you started podcasting. So no hate, no shade. I love y'all. I enjoy your work. You might make top 10 next year, 2024, if you keep up with the podcasting. You know what I'm saying? So our honorable mentions is Late to the Mic. I know it's Best Dressed Balls and Chimera, and I forgot the other dude. I think the guy who works for Justin at Canova. They got their own reptile podcast where they interview people and they talk about the industry, like vending and things like that. And they're very funny. They're very funny guys, and I really do enjoy it. But again, they're one of those newer podcasts that like just popped up a month or so ago. So that's why they're an honorable mention, because they just haven't had that many episodes out. Another one is Joey D, Colubra Corruption. Shout out to Joey D. He's also on a podcast that made the top 10 list, but he made his own show where he interviews people who strictly breeds colubrids, because the podcasting game is full, and the industry as a whole is full of ball python breeders. And so I love that he's bringing out people outside of the ball python realm. So if you want to know information about king snakes, if you want to know information about rat snakes, different types of colubrids that nobody talks about, he's been interviewing those breeders lately, and I think he's like 3 or 4 episodes in. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I can't wait to see what he brings 2024. So Colubrid Corruption is an honorable mention. Another colubrid guy, Alvaro, with Scaled Success podcast. He mostly focuses and interviews people who breed hognose snakes. That's his deal. That's his business. So I really enjoyed that. I just haven't watched every episode. And then Holly from Not Another Reptile Podcast. She's also dope, and I like when she interviews people. So shout out to Holly. And then the Holdback Rack. The Holdback Rack is a very good show. I do like it more when they talk about breeding, or when they talk about snake history, or when she talks about like when the nidovirus came out and there was so much misinformation about this virus spreading amongst collections and how it affects snakes and kills snakes and stuff. all the information that she's very well educated woman, and all the information that she gives out is very thoroughly researched. And I just love what they do on their podcast. Now they have their podcasts have been very auction heavy, where they host auctions to sell snakes for charity, which I get it. You're trying to help people out in the hobby, trying to raise money for certain causes, but that's not what I love their podcast for. I love their podcast for the education, the information, the business aspects. So it has been very auction heavy, like almost a whole month. It was like a weekly auction. And so I kind of tuned out and stopped watching for a minute, but I do want to shout them out because I do like it when they get into their business or education or snake anatomy bag. And so, yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Now, let's get to the top 10 reptile podcasts. And again, if you have more than one podcast, I'm only picking one show because it's not going to be fair if I pick all the shows that you have. So, the first one actually is actually top 11. I kind of cheated because I did not want to put this person under the honorable mentions. So number 11 is Proper Cup of Joe from Proper Royals. It's his Thursday morning show. He's one of those breeders that have like more than one reptile show. He also has a show where he on Tuesday nights where he interviews breeders and stuff. But I love the Proper Cup of Joe because it's like a morning inspirational type podcast. It's very positive, and it's also it's him trying to educate his friend Joe. He's trying to educate his friend Joe, who doesn't know anything about the reptile industry, nothing about the reptile hobby. So it's like watching a podcast through the views of a newbie, a new person who don't know anything about the reptile community. And so I love that. Number 10, and the reason why these people are number 10 and not higher is because their episodes disappear once the show is done, because they do their podcast on IG Live. They do their show on IG Live where they're interviewing different reptile breeders. They're showing off their snakes. And it's an amazing show. It's great. It's entertaining. But they never save the episodes. They don't save the episodes. And that's the gimmick and the gist of it, because you have to watch it live. So that's why they're number 10 and not higher, because I like to go back and watch certain things. I like to do repeat viewings if it's like an amazing episode. And so I had to knock some points off because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no going back. There's no rewatching. The content it has disappeared. So shout out to KG and Jaffe for their show and Tell on IG Live. And it's every Wednesday. I think in my time zone, it starts at 6. Yeah, it starts at like 6 p.m. my time zone. Because I watch it right before I watch Keys, Balls and Things show at 7. So shout out to them. Number 9, we have Herp Collectors Clutch Conversations. Mike is a great interviewer. He's been having he has some amazing legendary interviews. Like he interviewed, granted it was over the phone, but he interviewed Joe Exotic this year. So that shows you how great Mike is. And he's amazing, very positive dude, very dope dude. So Mike, you are my number 9 best reptile podcast with Clutch Conversations every Thursday. Then we have Kent, Crab Brewery Morphology. He has a interviewing show called Shedding Your Skin. He also has a show called what was the other one? Ball Things Considered. But I'm picking from his 2 shows, Shedding Your Skin. I love that show. His interview show is very good, very entertaining. Number 8, I believe I'm at number 8. I lost count, but either way, the next podcast is MJ's Trap Talk podcast. Now, MJ has like 3 shows a week. I'm picking the New Breeders on the Block, the Monday show, because that's where he interviews brand new, never before heard breeders and give them a spotlight and give them a chance to showcase their knowledge, their work, their business. So I love New Breeders on the, and it's co-hosted by my one of my reptile mentors, Emilio from Villarino Reptiles. So shout out to them on their Monday shows. Celtic Balls, my auntie and uncle, they are up next with podcasting under the influence. There's nothing needs to be said. They're family and they're very entertaining. They're very entertaining, very funny, and it's a great vibe. I was on that show this year. It's a great vibe. It's a great show. Of course, we got my brother Ken from the, and he got two shows. He got the Let Me Know show and the RWO show, but I'm picking my favorite one from Ken is the Let Me Know show. That's the show where he interviews other people. And um different breeders and things like that, and he is so funny. He tries to pick way different questions, like he asks you questions. He doesn't just stick to, oh, what are you working on, what are you breeding. He'll ask you questions like, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Or would you ever go skydiving, or stuff like that. He tries to make things fun, and that's why I love the Let Me Know show. And also he has now he has new co-hosts, which is his family, the RWO crew, and they come with different questions now for the guests. And so it was already entertaining when it was just him, but now that he got the rest of his crew on the show, it's way more entertaining. It's like 10 times more entertaining and funny. So shout out to all of them. And then, of course, we have Wiz and Joey D for Sophisticated Ignorance every Saturday night. I love Sophisticated Ignorance. It's so fun. It's such a great vibe. Shout out to the Wiz Tang Clan. And then up next, my brother from another mother. He also has more than one show. He has two shows, but I'm only picking this one. And yes, I'm a little biased, but it is Rock on Reptiles Beyond the Scales.
Best
That
podcast.
show.
Most people don't play with me. Number one.
Thank
Number
you.
one. Number one.
Thank you. You said it, not me. Cairo said it, not me.
Number one. Number one. No.
They're not my look. I hate to say it, but they're not my number one. But they are. We are the best. I'm not gonna lie. We are the more entertainment. We are the more ratchet. We are the more crazy. So, and this podcast has really changed my life. Like, I was never this extroverted and this talkative, and this, like, people are seeing the real me, because I've just never been, before I started being interviewed for all these podcasts and stuff. I didn't talk to nobody. I was like, nah, I'm not a people person. I hate people. I mean, I'm still kind of like that, but this show, I pretty much, this show has gave me my best friends. I have my friends for life. So shout out to Rock. Thank you for bringing me on the show. Even before I joined the show, I think there were like 5 or 6 episodes in where it was just Rock and Maki, and them two together, their dynamic, pure gold, just perfect. And I just like, these are my family. These are legit my brothers and sisters. So shout out to Candy, shout out to Don D, shout out to Maki, shout out to Rock, shout out to our honorary co-host Coco, who be in the background talking. Shout out to Cairo and all the people like Dragon and Bosa who be in the chats wilding out. I be looking forward to Tuesdays. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all, there have been some days where my job stresses me the fuck out, and I'm ready to call it quits. And there have been times where I wanted to message them and say, y'all, I'm not gonna be on the show today. I'm not. I'm just over it. I'm over everybody. But then I get on that show, and we get the laughing, and we get the chatting, and we get the bullshitting, and my mood changes. I be ready to punch somebody in the face. And then I get on the live, and Maki and Rock be going at it. And then Candy come and check all of us. And then Father Dunn trying to keep us together. And then the rest of y'all, Cairo and Dragon and Bosa, be egging everybody on in the chats.
Like, I gotta do what I gotta do for real.
Gotta do. I want to thank everybody who has ever supported Beyond the Scales. That's my family. That's my show. And I know that y'all would have said that I was on some bullshit if I made us number 1. That's why we're number 3. on the best podcast, but I cannot not put us on the list. Even like I said, even before I joined the show, I was watching the show every week. So yeah, shout out to my family. Number 3, Rock on Reptiles Beyond the Scales podcast. And we're gonna go bigger and badder and crazier 2024, especially if we all actually do go to Daytona together. Sorry, y'all, I miss y'all in the chat. What up, Coco? Thank you for tapping in. What up, Rock? Thank you for tapping in. All right. Countdown. Number 2 and number 1. Now.
Beyond the Scales, Beyond the Scales.
You good, Cairo, you a fool. Okay, both these people got 2 podcasts a week. And it was hard. It was tough. But I did go back on YouTube and saw which one. Because, you know, when you go on YouTube and you go on somebody's channel and they got that red line to show you you've already watched this video. I went back on both their channels to see how many episodes that I watched from January to now. And that was my criteria because I wanted to do a 2-way tie, but I couldn't. So who did I watch the most? And which shows from those people did I watch that I love? So, number 2 for the best podcast. And I'm going to explain why I chose one show over the other. So, number 2 is Lady Tiz's Reptiles and Cocktails. Now, Lady Tiz also has a show with Dre called 2 Peas in a Pod. It happens every Monday, and I love it. It starts my week off right when I listen to it as I'm getting ready to set for my class for my kids to come into the room. I'm putting a bell workout. I'm putting things on the board, all that jazz, and I'm listening to Dre and Lady Tiz. But the reason why 2 Peas in a Pod did not make the list over Reptiles and Cocktails is because Lady Tiz was able to do something that nobody would ever be able to do. There have been people in this industry that have pissed me the fuck off to the point where I hate them with a passion. If you say their names, I will go off, or I just gag like, ugh, why did you say their names? And that's why those podcasts are not even mentioned on this show. But Lady Tiz was able to have me sit down for 2-hour episodes to listen to one of these people that I hate the most. And that was that Sean Bradley interview. Sean Bradley, Cairo, if you don't know, Sean Bradley was the guy earlier this year who interviewed a breeder named Pete Call. And during that interview, Pete Call openly, not once, but twice, said the N-word. This is a white man. And they was like, oh, he drunk, yada, yada, yada. He's just old school. When I tell you, Cairo, the reptile industry was in a frenzy. And we were all like, fuck Sean Bradley and fuck Pete Call. And I'm still fuck Pete Call. When people tell me that they got a boa constrictor that's a call albino, I just refer to it as an albino. I would never say the name, use that man's name to signify what morph of a boa constrictor it is. Because he made that line of albino. And so he named it after himself. No, it's an albino boa. It's not a call albino. Fuck that nigga. Yes, fuck that cracker, basically. But anyways, after that whole scandal and the way Sean Bradley tried to play the victim, like, oh, I didn't know, I didn't mean to, yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, you a weak ass man. I don't like you. I don't trust you. And I blocked him on all social media. I don't even know if he still podcasts to this day. He probably do. I don't know. Or he probably quit after that. All I know is I don't want to hear anything Sean Bradley related, anything Pete Call related after that incident. But here come Nicole. Here come the retic queen, Lady Tiz. I think it was over the summertime. She interviewed him, Sean Bradley. And when I tell you, because when I see that the people I love, like Mike from Hurt Collectors, he interviewed a guy who's very anti-trans and very like he's on Instagram saying some fuck shit about trans people. But I'm not gonna put that on Mike because he's interviewing him about reptiles, and he probably don't even know about that post. And so I'm not gonna hate Mike for interviewing this guy because he probably didn't know. But there are certain people that I love. They might interview somebody that I hate. And so what I do is that I just go to that interview, I click the like button so they can get their algorithm, the YouTube algorithm up, and then I check out. I don't listen to it, I don't watch it. But I sat there and watched Lady T's 4-hour, because it was 2 episodes broken down, 4-hour interview with Sean Bradley. And I have to say, not only was it a great interview, not only did Nicole push back at him, she didn't just let him spew and say certain things without pushing back a little bit, like, hey, well, I don't agree with this or something like that. Like, Lady Tiz was very open, and Lady Tiz didn't kiss his ass. That's what I love. I love that Nicole did not kiss his ass. She pushed back on certain things, but that episode was so educational. It was so powerful. And I think only Lady Tiz could do it. 1, because she's a woman. 2, because she's Black. And 3, because she does not back down. When her heart and head is set on something, like, she's not gonna fold. There are certain people in this industry, they'll say something behind the scenes about somebody, and when they get in their face, they fold and be something different. Lady Tiz did not fold. She respected him. She showed him respect. She she respected his legacy, but she also was like, hey, when this happened, when that happened, when this beef between you and this person happened, I felt like y'all should have did this. Y'all both should have handled it this way. And I respect Lady Tiz. So that's why Lady Tiz is Reptiles and Cocktails, among other interviews she done. Because this year, she's had some banging guests. This year, she has some amazing guests. But that solidifies why I love Nicole and her show, Reptiles and Cocktails. That shit is amazing. Now, let's get on. Oh, Mike, thank you for tapping in. I hope you didn't miss the full list, but you can always hit the replay of my top reptile podcast. But welcome. Thank you for tapping in, Mike. You did make the podcast list. I'm a spoiler alert if you missed it. Mikey said, drunk man never tell no lies. You're right. Tell no tales. You're right. A drunk man would tell you exactly how he feels. But yeah, welcome, y'all. But now, let's get to the number one podcast. Now, this is based off of how many shows I've watched this year. Mr. Ear Hustling himself, Keys and Keisha, with Hair Down Fridays. They are my number one podcast. Now, they too have another show. Yeah, Mr. That's because he said I'm cooling at work, ear hustling. So they do have 2 shows. They have a Wednesday show called Balls and Things. That's where they interview people. But the party's on Fridays. The party is Hair Down Fridays. When I tell you, I'll look back on my YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel, to see my watch history. I've watched every fucking Friday show live. Not just the replay, but live. Now, I might not have watched it from beginning to end, because sometimes I got a bedtime at 7 most days. So I fall asleep sometimes, and then I wake up the next day and watch the rest of it that I missed. Hair Down Fridays is that shit. If Cairo, if you think that Beyond the Scales be wild and crazy, Keys Hair Down Fridays be wild and crazy, but more tame. They're like the PG version of us, because we be talking about dicks and balls and shit, paws and stuff like that, and drugs, where they let loose, they have fun, but they still keep it to the reptiles. And so there have been days where breeders will come in and cut eggs, and you can see the babies in real time as they're born and stuff like that. They've had legendary guests come in where they just spitting real facts and real game. Like, what was it, last Friday? Whichever one that had Levance with KG from Bond Projects together. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. Cairo, if you never stayed up and watched it before, I highly recommend that you do it at least one Friday just to hang out in the chats with us, because we be having fun. But it is so entertaining, and I can't believe I've watched every Hair Down Friday from January to last night. So that's why Keys, the whole family, the usual suspects, number one podcast, reptile podcast that I've watched or listened to in 2023. So shout out to Terrence and Keisha and the usual suspects. Family for life. And I was the honorary suspect this year, the month of April. So again, a little biased, but even if I wasn't an honorary suspect, Keys would have still been number one because of Hair Down Fridays. I legit watch that shit every Friday, every single Friday. And so I have not missed an episode of watching and listening and being in the chat. So shout out to them. So that is my top 11 plus a few honorary mentions reptile podcast of 2023. I can't wait to see what y'all bring in for 2024. So it's been great. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for welcoming your boy into the podcasting space. Thank you for always supporting me. Now I'm going to let Cairo, you already said Beyond the Scales your favorite one. So, but if you have any more you want to add, you can. And then we're about to get into some music shit.
No, Beyond the Scales number one on top. You know what I'm talking about?
Facts. Big
Number
facts.
one Beyond the Scales fan right here. Don't play with me.
Again, Cairo said it, not me. Oh, Candy, my baby mama. Welcome to the chat.
I remember when my mom
Baby,
told me, she was
listen.
like, yeah, I'm on a podcast. Candy is my mom, for those who don't know. And I was like, what's it about? Like, and at first she was like, oh, you can't watch it because it's not for kids. Okay, well.
And you're the number one person in the chat, wilding out with us.
I remember the first episode I was there, bro. I was like, yeah.
Now, sometimes we do have to send you to bed. We got to be like, yo, Cairo, you got to get out because these conversations be. Yes.
Poppy.
Beyond this is where Rob came out to us, our honorary Rainbow member. And he also admitted to being a crackhead. Oh my gosh. The hair, I'm not gonna lie, Beyond the Scales is amazing. It's funny. Sometimes we just say the dumbest shit on the top of our heads. We just say what comes to our minds and it be gold. Oh yes. This coming the last podcast this coming Tuesday of the year of 2023 is gonna be funny. We choose the honoraries, so no bias. Well, that's true. And I want to thank y'all for choosing me to be your honorary suspect. Even with my shitty Wi-Fi, somehow I made it work every Friday. I made it work being on there for the month of April. I think that was the only time my Wi-Fi was somewhat decent. I don't know how that happened, but after that, it's been shit. Let's see. I want to thank y'all. For real. And y'all are the reason y'all were Hair Down Fridays was the show where I came out and said that I was going to be a reptile breeder, snake breeder. So another reason why they number one. They convinced me to join the breeding gang. Cairo does act like her mama. Cairo will roast the shit out of you. If you think Candy gonna roast the shit out of you, Cairo will hurt your feelings. Ex Maki B.
You gotta let him know.
Flipping on the couch, dealing with Cairo. All right, so we've done the best podcast of 2023. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta take this hoodie off. I am burning up in this Airbnb. But let's get down to the music. And since I've done so much talking, I'm gonna let Cairo be first with the music. So Cairo, share your best music of 2023. You can start off with the Spotify rap or whatever. Just go with the flow. I'm listening. I'm just taking this hoodie off because I'm burning up.
All right. Hello everybody. Go. She does not be in shambles. Okay, don't play with me. It's not that serious. You know? So for me, there was a lot of good. There was like a lot of good and bad music this year. I think it had to be like a mixture. Like this was okay. First of all, let's start off with Drake.
Okay, yeah, we can start off with the big man who took over the charts.
Let's start with Drake. First of all, whenever I think of Drake, I think of the Soulja Boy Drake, where he was like all confused. Anyways, so his 2 albums he released. What you call it? Oh my god! For All the Dogs, and then he released Her Loss.
Her Loss. That's the name of it. Yeah.
Her Loss. No, that was in 2022. That was in 2022.
I thought that was this year.
November 4th.
Ain't that some bullshit? See, no, Cairo, we gonna count that because the music industry counts that. When the Grammy Awards happen, they have a cutoff date. So if you release music in November and stuff, you don't get nominated. That album does not get nominated to the following year. So we gonna treat it like the music industry, and we gonna call it 2023. Cause baby, I thought that came out this year.
Now, after Certified Lover Boy, when 2021 Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy with this specific album cover. The pregnant women emojis.
The pregnant emojis.
I didn't like that album. I liked Way Too Sexy with Future and Young Thug, but that's it.
That album was trash. That album was highly disappointed.
But then he dropped Her Loss. Now, if there is anything 21 Savage can do, every time he's featured on something, I have never heard a bad 21 Savage feature. I have never heard a bad 21 Savage feature. I don't know what it is. Either. His own music, I don't like it. But whenever he's featured on something, let me tell you, the features go hard. So Her Loss was good. For All the Dogs, it was all right. I like the song he made with Yeet that was like all over TikTok. Everybody was like, money for fun. But I only liked that because it was just funny to me. Because like he just came out Drake is he's so fruity without knowing he's fruity. And that's the funny part about it.
He's so light skinned, that's all. He just light skinned.
He is very light skinned, extremely light skinned. Now for my personal, so a lot of my music, so there's a lot of adults in the comment section. Y'all don't exactly listen to the stuff I listen to. Like don't get me wrong, I love old music, but my top songs were a lot of things that, well, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back is on here, so y'all know that one.
Not that make the top 10.
So for me, my top, I'm gonna give it 50-50. So for my top artist this year was Fall Out Boy, and I was one of their like top 0.01 listeners. Not that I'm shocked. If my mom will vouch, I do. I love me a good Fall Out Boy song. We went driving one time, and I was like, put on some Fall Out Boy, because I was the one driving. Driver gets to do the aux. You know what I'm talking about? But as much as I love Fall Out Boy, Kendrick Lamar and Childish Gambino, top 2 artists. I just recently got the limited edition vinyl for Because the Internet for Christmas by one of my best friends, and I was like, see, it's like you said, like, yeah, not my cup of tea. But hear me out, right. There are some songs. There has to be some songs that I listen to that, everybody else can listen to. You know what I'm talking about? First of all, if you don't listen to Childish Gambino, what are you doing? Everybody knows Kendrick Lamar, the album that starts with the D word.
Damn.
Yeah, that one with the extreme period at the end. DNA, that was on my top. I think DNA was the only one that was on the top 10. But Just Say the Word. Well, I ain't trying to get in trouble. You ain't finna catch me.
It's okay, Ezra. honorary internet stepdaddy, I'm gonna let you cuss on this podcast. Your mama can't get on you.
Appreciate it. Barbie World by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice.
I'm not gonna lie, as corny as that music is, I actually do like it.
That song went hard. Ice Spice's verse is my favorite, bro.
That's a guilty pleasure for me. That song is a guilty pleasure for me. I ain't gonna lie.
That song had me jamming, bro. ATM by J. Cole. I don't listen to J. Cole, but his album KOD, bro. Don't play with me. That one goes hard. That one goes hard. That one goes hard. What was another album that released in 2020? Fall Out Boy released their album, So Much for Stardust. That was a really good album. If I send you a screenshot, look, it was look, it was something serious. It was some. I had to get it out.
Sometimes you just gotta get the words out. That's all right.
I had to get it out. Let me look on 2023. I gotta look it up. 2023 albums, because now that I'm talking about it, my mind is drawing a blank. 2023 albums. I don't like Olivia Rodrigo.
No, she's so overrated. Like when it comes to pop, the young pop girls, I'm so tired of hearing about her. I don't see the appeal. I don't. But then again, a lot of these young pop girls that are catering to your generation, they just don't have it. They're so generic, they're so bland. What I hate is that your generation don't have the artists that I had. Like your generation don't have a Lady Gaga. And that's sad.
Our lady,
like when Lady Gaga came out, like with Just Dance and stuff, like she hit the ground running and had pop music in a chokehold for 5 years straight. These new girls that are coming out, they are just so plain. First of all, I can't tell them apart by their voices. So if you were to play an Olivia Rodrigo song, I wouldn't be able to tell whether it's her or any of these other young girls that I've been hearing on TikTok and all this other stuff. It's like nobody stands out. They're Barbies, basically. And it's sad. Because I feel like the pop girls, y'all need somebody new for this generation. Y'all do. Because I got Gaga. I'm sorry, Gaga's mine.
No, you good. For me, it's like there are some. Okay, I don't really listen to music, pop music made in this specific generation. And if I do, I'm very specific about what I listen to. Like Doja Cat. I listen to Doja Cat, but her newer stuff is just a bit like her album Scarlet was weird. Planet Her, I love Planet Her. Everything on Planet Her, that's my jam.
Doja's very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I love artists that experiment with styles and forms and try something new. But I feel like Doja Cat isn't solidified enough to do that. I feel like when you're a new artist or a newer artist, because she's been around for at least 5 years, I feel like you have to you can't hop lanes like Taylor Swift be hopping genres every couple of years. You can't do that as a newer artist. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent for a couple of years, a couple of albums. Then when you want to switch it up on us, then you can. Otherwise, like Doja Cat is so ADHD herself that I just can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with Doja Cat. And like I said, she's very hit or miss. When she hits, oh, I'm jamming. But when she misses, I'm like, what the fuck?
Now there was a song on Scarlet. It was very much so when I first listened to it, I was like, But her song Demons, now hear me out. The chorus, it's all right. But that second verse gets me every time. I'm a puppet, I'm a sheep, I'm a cash cow. Bro, don't play with me. Like she just like, but I also don't like how she uses like this high-pitched voice in that song. It's very
Oh, I
much
hate
like
that. I hate the chipmunk voice that's not really chipmunk. I hate that. She's not
it's
the
just
only
like
artist that does it, but it's just
I can't.
my ears.
Yeah. Oh, when did Silk Sonic release their album? Was that this year or 2022? That was
Silk Sonic,
2021.
That was 2021, baby. That was my second year of catching COVID. That was 2021. I know when Silk Sonic came out. Yeah. Because I was spreading COVID unintentionally. I did not know I had it at the time, but I was spreading COVID all through Orange Beach that year. Dying.
Another good album this year was the album that went along to Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yes, that soundtrack is awesome. Oh my god.
Metro Boomin did his thing. Metro Boomin did his thing. My favorite song on there is "Am I Dreaming" with A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
He ate on that one. Yeah, it's just really cool how like it's just like all these artists, like some of these artists I had never even like heard of, but they all came together and just made such good music to pertain to Across the Spider-Verse. And what I like about Across the Spider-Verse is that each song is for like a different part of the movie. That's what I really,
it was a legit soundtrack. Like Metro Boomin did a great job curating it to match the movie, but it was still good that even if you didn't watch Across the Spider-Verse, like I was like 3 months late watching that movie, but I heard the soundtrack and I loved and listened to the soundtrack before I watched the movie. I was like 3 months late. I think it was already on streaming at the time, and I finally decided to watch it. And after watching it, I was like, oh, I went back and listened to the soundtrack again because I was like, oh, they were in their bag. They were in their bag.
And the thing is, with each song, you can tell which character they're talking about, which scene is going on. Like that's what I really, really like about it. Like with Self Love with Coi Leray, that's just Gwen's song. That just radiated.
Yeah.
Gwen. I don't like Gwen, but that was her song. That's a good song. That's a good song. And then it's just like I just like the music in all the Spider-Man movies, but specifically the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah.
I've noticed that if there's a black main character, there's going to be an amazing soundtrack because Black Panther, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I guess Marvel just likes their black characters like that.
Look, one thing about not just Marvel, but any movie, because we could go back. I'm gonna do an episode top of the month. I'm gonna do an episode on movie soundtracks that specifically movie soundtracks that outlived the movie. Like, for example, the obvious Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. That song outlived the movie. Your generation don't give a damn about Titanic. Hell, my generation no longer gives a damn about Titanic. But that song still lives on to this day. And there's a lot of songs like that, like the Aerosmiths. We'll talk about it in January when I do that episode. But there are certain movie soundtracks or songs from movie soundtracks that you listen to and you done forgot about the damn movie, but you never forgot the songs. Oh, good one, Candy. See, I can't wait. Top of the month. I think it might be the episode after New Year's. I am doing movie soundtracks.
What's the movie with what's the movie with Eminem? 8 Mile, 8 Track?
Yes. Yeah. Nobody talks about 8 Mile, the film.
But Lose Yourself?
But Lose Yourself still slaps. It still hits. Everybody knows that shit.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already.
Yeah. I can't wait for that episode. That episode, music that outlived the soundtrack. Yeah. Movie soundtracks. It's something about movies, especially like you said, that has a black-centered character or a black movie. Oh, I can't wait to talk about black films, like black films, like the films they play on BET and stuff. I can't wait to do an episode on that shit. But movies that outlive the sound, music that outlives the soundtracks, like the black ones or the based off the black main characters, like you said. Somehow those musicians, they understand the assignment. They understood the assignment. They was like,
but keep in mind, right?
I got the only reason they write the best shit.
The only reason why that they're good is because they bring in black artists to do it.
See, Keith said, I listen to Lose Yourself if I do my podcast.
Like Kendrick Lamar,
but nobody talks about it now.
On the Black Panther soundtrack, Kendrick Lamar absolutely ate down.
That was a perfect album. That was a
I
seamless album. Oh
I
my god.
still listen to King's Dead, bro. Don't play with me.
Me too.
I
Facts.
still listen to King's
King's
Dead.
Dead still goes off. And
Um,
what's the other damn. It's the one that had to do with Killmonger when they were in the ambulance truck. Paramedic. Yeah,
Paramedic.
that's all. Paramedic. That shit, I still
Paramedic.
listen to that to this day.
I was just
Paramedic
listening to that
is my
yesterday.
shit. That is
Every
my
time
shit.
it comes on, bro. Or like All the Stars.
Yeah.
All the Stars is overplayed, but it's still really good.
Well, it was the soundtrack single, so of course it's gonna be overplayed. Yeah.
And then Pray for Me with The Weeknd.
That was
That's something
just
making
perfect.
me. That's something making me feel
And
majestic.
and we're going and the sequel soundtrack that actually made my top list. So I'll get into that a little later. But Wakanda Forever soundtrack, I'm still listening to that shit.
That's real.
Like I was
That's real.
listening to it last week. That shit, the soundtrack is the shit.
That's real. I'm looking through the Wikipedia page, albums that released this year.
Oh, well, while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and just share my Spotify rap because my Spotify rap is very short. I'm not gonna even do the best songs because I'm gonna be honest. I'm be honest with y'all. 2023, at least during the summertime, because it was around the time where our power was lost. My dog ran away. We ain't never found her.
Gorillas dropped Cracker Island. When
I have not
Gorillas
listened to that. I have not
when
listened to that yet.
Gorillas dropped Cracker Island, that was a revolutionary reset to music.
I gotta go back and listen to that. I saw that they did drop it, but I didn't listen to it. But
I need to buy the album.
on my Spotify rap, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the top songs were a lot of gospel. I was going through it a lot, especially over the summertime. Like when I tell y'all, I was so depressed. Like my depression, I was like, I need to talk to my therapist like now. And so I was listening to a lot of gospel. That's why a lot of gospel artists like hit my top songs. But I'm gonna go through my top artists, my top 5 artists that I listen to on Spotify first before I do my best music that came out in 2023. My top Spotify artist is number 5, Sia. Sia is still one of the best, at least top 3. No, I'm not gonna say top 3. That's a stretch. Top 5 best songwriters. As far as artists that write songs for other artists, Sia is still top 5 writers. Period. Can't nobody touch her pen. Number 4, top artist, Kirk Franklin. Like I said, y'all was going through a Great Depression, so I had to go back to the early 2000s and the 90s and listen to some Kirk Franklin to get my spirits up. Number 3, CeCe Winans. Again, gospel. But if you know CeCe Winans, like CeCe Winans is the only gospel artist that was able to collaborate with legendary non-gospel artists. Like she did songs with Whitney Houston. She did a song with Mariah Carey. She's done songs with a lot of people outside of the gospel genre. And not to mention this year, CeCe Winans did a concert in Memphis, and I got to be the cameraman. And I was right there on stage with the camera recording her. Just saying. So I see why she was my number 3. She helped me through my depression too. Number 2, Rolling Stones. Fuck you for your best vocalist of list, because you did not place her at all, and that is the Canadian Queen Celine Dion. And then number one, my guy, my birthday twin, my buddy, R.I.P. Avicii. I love you, Avicii. Rest in peace. Your music still lives on. Avicii has been number 1 on my Spotify Wrapped 5 years in a row. And that's not on purpose. His music is just that damn good. I listen to his music every single day. And so he's been number 1 for 5 years in a row. Nobody has been able to top Avicii, at least on Spotify. Now, when it comes to the best music I've listened to this year, there is 2 artists that I have listened to more, or maybe just as Avicii, but their music isn't on streaming services. Their music is on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. So I will say the 2 people that beat Avicii out as far as music, if I go back to YouTube, what I listen to every day, that is this new artist that came out doing these 80s synth remixes to songs and even made his own original music, but it sounds 80s. His name is Dream Kid on Instagram. He's known as Dream Kid 83. That man, that person, because they look so, I'm gonna say they, because they look androgynous. So I don't know how they identify. They never came out and said anything. They look very androgynous. It's kind of hard to tell. So I'm gonna say they, or Dream Kid. Dream Kid 83 has had me in a chokehold with the 80s music instrumentals that they've been creating all 2023. Like if you go back on my Instagram reels, anything that's not mainstream music is their music. It's Dream Kid's music. Every time they drop a new song, a new record, or anything on Instagram or TikTok, I use that sound for my reels. I just love it. It feels just like my childhood. It takes me back to my childhood of the late 80s, early 90s. You hear the pop. It gives you that Prince, Michael Jackson flair. And it's just instrumentals. It's him on a synthesizer, those little beat machines, just making instrumental songs. And they did announce that they're going to come out with a full-length album. So I can't wait because they have a full-length album of nothing but 80s instrumentals that's original that they created. And their mashup and remixes have been top-notch. Like they turned Linkin Park, Fall Out Boy, they turned like certain like rock and pop songs into 80s style, and I just love that shit. It just takes me back to old school. And then also my number one guy, who is supposed to be touring in America. I think they're Canadian, but they're supposed to be touring in America and coming to St. Louis in March, and I can't wait to watch them live. Maki, you and I know this person, Sick Kick Music. If you never heard of Sick Kick, you've heard his remixes and mashup. Last year, he blew up because of his Madonna Frozen remix that be on all the TikToks. That blew up. But I've been listening to Sick Kick since 2016 because they did a remix to J. Cole's Get Off My Dick song. They did a remix to that where he came up with his own verses and lines, and like it was fire. If you on YouTube look up Sick Kick Music, he makes the best remixes ever, the best mashup, but he also has original music on Spotify and Apple Music, original songs that he created. But the song that he has me in a chokehold that I listen to every single day and has not got tired of it, like I listened to it this morning as soon as I woke up, and that is his remix, his mashup. He remixed Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On and Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. Look that shit up on YouTube. He put those two songs together. Oh my gosh. That song has me in a chokehold. I listen to that shit every single fucking day. And I know it's impossible and it might cost thousands of dollars, but I wish Celine Dion's camp and Whitney Houston's estate would let him release that on Spotify. Because if that shit was on Spotify, he would have probably beat out Avicii just off that song alone, that remix alone. But and he also just released a couple of weeks ago, for you hip hop heads, a couple of weeks ago, he released a song with the permission of DMX's estate. He did an original song with a verse from DMX that his estate allowed him to do. And they did a music video where they had a CGI DMX rapping. That shit go hard. And the fact that he got approved by DMX's estate to do it, and it's on streaming services. Let me see if I can find it right quick so I give y'all the exact name of it. But oh my gosh, let me Google it right quick. Sick Kick DMX. That shit goes hard. And I think it just released like last month. But that shit, Sick Kick, I believe that if his shit was on Spotify, he would have beat Avicii for the number one spot for my music of 2023. But also, and I'm not gonna be too long with y'all on this one, but all the other songs that I listened to that came out this year alone, 2023, was Doechii. She's a singer rapper. I think she's either on J. Cole's record label or she's on Kendrick's record label. She's on one of those guys. But her name is Doechii, Doechi, I believe. She has this song. Her song is the song I use to promo this podcast, this episode on my reels, on my Instagram reels. It's called What It Is. That shit had me in the chokehold. That song right there had me in the chokehold all year long. Burna Boy's album, the album he dropped a couple of months ago, fire. That album slapped so hard I can't pick a favorite song. And Burna Boy is one of those artists that got me into Afro beats and Afro pop music. I love Burna Boy. Burna Boy can do no wrong. He has not made a wax song yet. Everybody knows this song. This song has gone viral and had everybody in the chokehold. But it's Tyla with Water. Make me wet, make me lighter. Well, she just dropped her album, the full album, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That album slaps. That album is amazing. And yes, Water is on there, but she has other songs that are just as good, if not fire, than Water. But Water had the whole world, including myself, in the chokehold. And then Lana Del Rey, I'm starting to forgive her slowly because she's still on my shit list after she came out with that tweet trying to compare herself to other women, and she only named Black women in the music industry. She was very bitter. I think it was around Grammy Award time. She was very bitter that she wasn't getting the accolades that she wanted. So she tweeted something like, how come y'all didn't like this album that I dropped, but y'all love Beyonce and Rihanna? And she's like, she named nothing but the Black women. And everybody was like, bitch, what? And so Twitter tore into her ass. And I was so happy they did. But a song of hers that she recorded but never released years ago leaked online, and it's called Say Yes to Heaven. And she even came out and said that song was never meant to come out at all. That song was never supposed to come out. But because it leaked and people was begging for it and people were remixing and people were like, those singers on YouTube were singing their own versions of that song. So finally, she decided to drop that song by itself as a single, nothing else, and drop it on streaming services. That song is beautiful as fuck. Now, as far as Lana Del Rey, the person, is still fuck her, but I cannot lie. That song is beautiful as fuck. And I don't forgive her for the bullshit that she be tweeting, but I did listen to that a lot once she officially released that song. So Say Yes to Heaven is a beautiful song. And lastly, 2023, my queen, my vintage, she can't do the only white lady who can never do any wrong, the only white lady that I think gonna get into heaven, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton dropped a rock album this year where she covered a lot of classic rock songs, like from Queen and everybody else, but she did her damn thing. Dolly Parton can't do no wrong. I love that rock album. I believe it's just called Rock and Roll. Dolly blessed me. Dolly blessed me with that album. She covered a lot of like hit rock songs, and to hear it with her vocal cords, I loved it. And not only that, but if the artist is still alive, they were on the album. They were singing with her. And it wasn't like she covering the song and using their old vocals. No, these people got back in the studio and re-recorded the songs with her. So Queen Dolly, the only white woman who could do no wrong, the only white woman that the black delegation loves, the only white woman that's going to make it into heaven, Dolly Parton, she had me in the chokehold. Best album 2023. And that is my list. It was a lot. Between Spotify and YouTube, it was a lot. But Cairo, do you have any more that you wanted to add?
I don't think so. There was a lot of Nicki Minaj's album was.
It was good. If you watch my episode last week, I did do a mini review in the beginning. It was good, but it's not her best work. It was not her best work. And people were complaining that it was very sampled heavy, and I can get that. Like every song was a sample of something else. And the fact that, and don't get me wrong, the song that she sampled, the song was beautiful and the context was beautiful. Like she was talking about her dad and the relationship with her dad. The song that she sampled with Billie Eilish, I feel like that I love Billie Eilish, and that song is beautiful. But I feel like Billie Eilish has not been in the music game long enough for any of her music to be sampled.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying, like when I hear somebody sample somebody else's music, it's something like so many years far removed. Billie Eilish is still one of the new girls, even though she's been out for maybe 5, 6 years. And I feel like that song, that song needs to stand by itself long enough before it becomes sampled on someone else's music, if that makes sense. But like I said, the album is good. Nicki's album is good, but I can understand everybody's criticisms of that album, and it's not her best work. It's really not. Like, and for that to be the sequel to the first album, Pink Friday, it did kind of, it was underwhelming. For that to be the sequel, it was underwhelming.
Oh, "Loving on Me" by Jack Harlow.
Man, the only reason why Jack Harlow did not make my top 10 list, because his album that he dropped, well, album, I put in quotations, that he dropped before Loving on Me is good. Where he's just rapping, it's good. My beef with Jack Harlow though is that his songs are not full songs. He don't make full albums. He don't make full music. His songs have never gone more than 2 minutes, and that's a crime against music. Like some of the songs were 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's not a song, baby. You just freestyled and kept it pushing. Like that's not even a song. You didn't give me a full 16 bars. You probably gave me 8 bars and left.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Candy. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been innocent. One of my favorite songs I
Dua
found on
Lipa
TikTok.
is
Oh,
good.
Jericho. Yes, that song was good. Rock. That was good. Yeah. I love that. Ro, thanks for tapping in. I'm sorry, you said Dua Lipa. Did she drop some? I might have missed that one.
She was there was "Dance the Night Away" and then it was her song "Houdini."
Oh, I
My
missed
only
that.
problem, my only problem with Dua Lipa, all her songs sound the same.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like
It
all
start,
her
it's starting to become repetitive to where you can't tell
yeah.
the difference between one song from the other. Yeah.
Like don't get I love "Dance the Night Away," the Barb from the Barbie movie, but
hmm
it just sounds like every other song she's released.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like she found her lane or her gimmick and stuck to it and never deterred from it.
Like I feel like if she just went into like other like type of music, like if her instrumentals were different, then all her songs would
Yeah.
sound the same.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. What up, No Limit Pythons? Thank you for tapping in. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. A lot of these pop girls, and not even just pop girls, pop guys, and even like back in the day in the early 2000s with the boy bands and stuff like that. Um, it's like they had one in-house producer and stuck with it and never deterred. Or they found the one single that hit, the one song that hit, and they like, okay, the record labels are like, we need more of that. But instead of making it different, they just kept repeating it. All they did was just change the lyrics and the song title. Like you said, the instrumentals, the background. I think Dua Lipa just needs to work with different producers. Like I feel I would love to hear, and I don't know, because I haven't, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't tapped into Dua Lipa enough to know, but I could imagine Dua Lipa doing a song with like a Jermaine Dupri produced. Because Jermaine Dupri still produced songs this day. People just think that he stopped producing and making beats. No, there are a lot of these new R&B girls that drop albums like SZA. They have a Jermaine Dupri beat in their albums. You just don't hear him in the background. So I could imagine a Dua Lipa doing a song with a Jermaine Dupri, or Dua Lipa doing a song with like Timberland. And everybody knows Timberland has a signature sound. He has certain drums and beats that he don't deter from. But when he collaborates, let's say if he collaborates with a Justin Timberlake, it's gonna be different than what he do with Madonna, and it's gonna be different than what he do with if he did a beat for Beyonce. Like you could tell it's Timberland, um, but it's a different sound depending on what artist you work for. So I think if Dua Lipa just leave whoever she's been letting produce her albums and just venture off and do something with somebody else, it would sound a little different. And it can still be her. It can still be true to who she is as an artist. Um, but yeah, I totally get that. It is starting to sound the same. Rock's so stupid. She fine as fuck though. Yes, she is. I ain't gonna lie. That woman is fine, but her music is starting to sound the same to where even if I see it, like you said, I didn't even know that she dropped new songs out, except for the Barbie project. I knew the song for the Barbie because I listened to the soundtrack, but other than that, like she dropped another song this year, I didn't know because I stopped looking for her music after you hear so much of the same beat that it's like, you know, okay, I know you can sing. I know you
Yeah.
got some vocals, but what else do you got to bring to the table?
And then I don't know. This is one of my favorite. It was one of my top genres. It was one of my top genres, and I'm really enjoying seeing the rise of it. But K-pop, hip hop, all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Let me look on Spotify. Hold on.
I
No,
feel
keep
like
talking. Keep talking.
we are becoming a lot more open to music from around the world, and I really do love that because
Yeah.
I love me a good K-pop song. And the thing is,
Oh
there's
my
like
God.
K-pop. But then with K-pop, I don't think I've ever heard a song that sounds the same.
No.
The artists have their sounds, and they experiment with it, but it never sounds the same. One of my favorite groups, NCT 127. They're known for their party music and such, but I like it. I like it to the point because like their music is party music, but party music that like doesn't get repetitive. You
Yeah.
can listen to their music on repeat without getting annoyed by it. But
Yeah.
not only do they
Yeah.
have like the party music, but they have the songs like their album. One of their albums, um, the song that was on my rewind. Oh, the rewind was going back. Don't back to you. That was
Mhm.
a good song. It was like an R&B type. It was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yes,
But I feel like
and I love the K-pop artists that tap into the R&B game. And the reason why I said that because I don't know what group he used to be in, but there's this artist that he just dropped like 2 weeks ago a solo record, and it's straight R&B. Like he collaborated with Jack Harlow, Lotto, Major Lazer, and he just
are you
released an
talking about Jungkook?
English. Yes,
Let me tell you something.
bro, bro. Oh my gosh,
Bro,
Jungkook. I was like, who is this Asian man on
so
this
okay,
album
so
cover looking all sexy and stuff? And so I listened to the album, man,
so okay,
Jungkook,
so
y'all,
he's from
a
BTS.
sexy Asian
He's from
man
BTS.
singing R&B. Ooh,
His song, have you heard "Standing Next to You"?
yes. Oh my gosh, Jungkook will make me marry an Asian man quickly. Like, oh my, that man is fine. He can
When
sing.
he,
He's like the Asian Usher. Like, what the fuck? Oh my
and
god,
the thing is,
that album is fire.
he has a song with Usher.
Yeah.
There's a
Man, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Jungkook. If y'all don't know, his it's spelled Jung Cook Kook. Jungkook. Y'all, if y'all like R&B music, go listen to that motherfucker. Oh my gosh. When you said K-pop, I was like, I just heard one of the best albums I ever heard. And the thing about K-pop is when they speak in their native tongue, when they sing in their native tongue, it does not bother me. I don't know what the fuck they be saying, but they slap so hard the music be
it
bumping
was
that I don't
it
give
was
a damn
even better. It was
what they
even
saying.
better about it. It's like once you really look into the meaning of the song, you're like, dang, they kind of spitting facts though. They kind of spitting facts though. Like that's what I really like. So another one of the
Yeah.
BTS members, he has 2 albums. Um and
Yeah,
his
that's how you
his
spell his name. Man, look that up on.
This album right
That shit
here is
fire.
pure hip hop. He
Mm.
spits absolute like it's.
Hold on. Let me make you big so you can put the screen up. So I
This
can see
is
the album cover.
it's just
Okay,
straight
yeah,
heat.
yeah.
It's called D-Day. His name's D-Day. And then the other one, D2, is my personal favorite.
Uh-huh.
But it's just pure hip hop and R&B.
Mm-hmm.
And and his voice is just so satisfying to listen to. Then that's the best part about it. Cuz like an artist can be good at music, but if their voice isn't like satisfying to the ears, you're not going to want to listen to it. Like
Yeah.
Lil Peep can make amazing music, but I don't like his voice. So
Yeah.
it's like that.
Exactly.
And
Oh my
then,
gosh.
yeah, there's a lot of K-pop. There's a lot
Right.
of K-pop.
And hold on, let me go back in the chat because Rose said a name. When I tell y'all, she only dropped 2 songs this year, or at least that I found, that I saw. She only dropped 2 songs this year, or maybe 3. Woo! She bringing R&B back. I don't care what nobody say. She is bringing true R&B back, and that is Snow fucking Allegra. That woman, she dropped the song, her falsetto. First of all, she dropped the song. I didn't know if it was a man or a woman singing just by listening to it because I had my Spotify on what you call it, where they just select random shit off the playlist, off the new music, the new releases playlist. I shuffle. It was shuffling. And when I heard it, I was like, is this a woman or a man? I don't care. The voice is sexy. I was like, and then the falsetto, when she hit that high note, I was like, what the fuck? Be My Summer. Snow Allegra's Be My Summer and Sweet Tea, those 2 songs she dropped. My R&B is not dead. R&B is not fucking dead. Y'all just not looking for it. People who say R&B is dead because all they see is Chris Brown and all they see is these young boys, these young cats who are doing more rapping than they are singing. Nah, y'all not looking hard enough. Snow Allegra is hip. I mean R&B true and true. She bringing the vocals fucking back. Like, oh my gosh, she has to be an honorable mention. She has to be an honorable mention. And another honorable mention of best songs that I listened to, and the reason why it didn't reach my Spotify rap because she dropped it late in the year, and that is Meg Thee Stallion's Cobra. That song.
Heat, pure heat. Pure
I
heat.
love when Meg Thee Stallion is in her rapping bag, when she just rap about her feelings, rapping about hard times. Don't get me wrong, I love the twerk music. I love the strip club music too. I love the anthems. But when she and her, let me show y'all my rapping shit. And also shout out to Meg Thee Stallion because if you watch Big Mouth, the TV show Big Mouth, she
That
played a
song went
hormone
hard.
monster. She played a hormone monster, and she dropped the song for that. And it's now on Spotify. They just released it like 2 days ago. That song that she did called "The Pussy Don't Lie." That shit, that probably gonna be on my Spotify list for next year. Cause man, that song, as funny as it is, and even though it's a comedy song, that shit, Meg was spitting. She was rapping her ass off. So yeah, Meg Thee Stallion had to be an honorable mention for 2023 because Cobra alone, that shit, man, woo, that was a good one. Yeah, but that was it for my list.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I know some people in the chats were sharing their stuff. Rock said rapper like Big X the Plug. Rose said all New York music. Anybody else in the chat? What did y'all enjoy this year? Yes, Ro. Yes. He said you can roll a skate to John Cook music. Yes, you can. Man, that album caught me by surprise. The album cover caught me by surprise, and then when I listened to the album, I said, "Oh, this Asian boy spitting. He's singing his life off."
You should listen to BTS and then all of their side
their side
solo.
projects, their solo stuff. Okay, yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, Glorilla. Glorilla's I love Glorilla is one of the new girls, the new rappers that I really, really love. And I'm not just saying that because she's from Memphis.
Glorilla.
I'm not just saying that because she's from Memphis, but she really be spitting. The heifer can rap. She can rap. Like, don't play with Glow. I know. I know earlier in the podcast, Candy said she just listened to Anita Baker. Look, Anita Baker is a legend. I just need her to get her tour together because every city she stopped in, it's a complaint of her being 2 hours late. She's becoming the new Lauryn Hill as far as touring goes. Anita Baker got to do better. Oh, yeah, Glorilla fine too with her big head ass. I love her. She got a big forehead, okay? We cannot lie, but she fine.
I haven't. Every people with big foreheads low key are attractive, so I can't be playing with you. I don't know why. Like Rihanna, she got a big forehead. She beautiful.
Yeah, but beautiful. Shout out to all the big foreheads in the world. But that is it. Oh my gosh, this might have been the longest episode today. We are at 1 hour and 41 minutes. Great job.
No, the one I was on last time when we talked about Beyonce and stuff, that was like 2 hours.
Oh shit, it probably was. Yeah, we did. We got on a rant on that one. We went hard on that. We went hard on every episode we've been on. Yo, this has been. Yes, it is, Candy. It is big. I'm sorry.
Let me just go ahead.
Big forehead, shawty. Not Cairo covering up the forehead. But that's it, y'all. That has been the best music of 2023, plus the best podcast of 2023. If you made the list this year, congratulations. Let's see what y'all do or where y'all rank next year. Who knows? Maybe Keys will still be at the top. Maybe somebody will come and knock him from that number one spot. We'll see. Who will be it? Will it be Rock? Will it be Lady Tiz? Will it be Wiz? Will it be the new guy, Joey D, with Colubric Corruption? We shall see how 2024 stacks up. But thank y'all so much. I do appreciate everybody for supporting your boy in this podcast, for supporting me, because y'all, like I said earlier in the show, I was an introvert before people start asking me to be interviewed on their shows. I was a big old introvert, did not want to talk to nobody. And now every Tuesday I'm on a podcast revealing things that should not be revealed in public and making Maki flip upside down on couch. But hey, it is what it is. I'm glad y'all brought it out of me. Y'all brought the demon out of me. But I appreciate y'all. This has been a great year. 2023 has been a great year for me personally, creatively, and I can see it's been a great year for a lot of everybody else. So shout out to everybody. I can't stand you, right? Keith said, chill. Keith said, ain't nobody touching number one. Rock. But thank y'all so much. Thank you to my co-host, Cairo, for stepping in for the music episode. Of course, Cairo knows that they are always welcome on the show. Whenever I have a topic that sparks your mind and you just want to come in and chat, always welcome. So thank you. Candy said, definitely step out of my comfort zone this year. Yeah, we all have. I think we starting a war in the chat. Keith said, I wasn't born to play. So y'all are crazy. But if I don't speak to any of you, people in the chat or Cairo, if I don't speak to any of you before the New Year's, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah if you're Jewish. And happy New Year's. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. 2023 has been amazing. I think I'll have one more show before the year is up. If not, I don't know how I'm going to be. If not, I will see y'all 2024. It has been a blast. This has been an amazing year. We are going to go stronger and harder. If you do want to check me out before the year is up on Rock on Reptiles podcast is this coming Tuesday. Not Sophisticated Ignorance. Sorry, dang. Beyond the Scales. Beyond the Scales podcast. We're doing our final episode of the year this coming Tuesday. Please come check us out. Come be with all your crazy cousins, Candy, Maki, myself, Jabari, aka Uber Eats, Rock, Father Dunn, who's going to try to keep us contained, but it's going to be the last episode of the year. I doubt it's going to be any containment. We probably going to be drunk. Who knows? Please check us out. Also, this afternoon, or probably right after this podcast, because we're ending so late, Lady Tiz has Reptiles and Cocktails. And then tonight, later on tonight, Wiz from Sophisticated and Joey D, Sophisticated Ignorance, will be on. I do have my nephew's birthday party this evening, like around 4 or 5 o'clock. So depending on how crazy my nephew has gotten me, I might be asleep during that podcast, but I will catch the replay. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for a great year. I will definitely see y'all on Tuesday. Candy said we going in on Tuesday. I can definitely do that. Yes. There's always an open invite for anybody. Keys, any other podcasters. Best thing about this community is that we all love each other. We all support each other. And so if anybody wants to hop on and party with us on Tuesday night, let's do it. The grand finale, the season finale of Beyond the Scales. We are going to wow the fuck out. But I love y'all. I'll see y'all next Saturday. If not, the first Saturday in January. Peace out, peoples. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all that jazz. Happy New Year's. Peace.